Genesis chapter 40. This is amazing, folks. Genesis chapter 40. Okay. After these things, the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. He put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he took care of them. They stayed in prison many days. They both dreamed a dream. Here we go again. Dreams, dreams, dreams. God speaking through dreams. They both dreamed a dream, each man his dream, in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were bound in the prison. Joseph came in to them in the morning and saw them, and saw that they were sad. He asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, saying, "Why do you look so sad today?" They said to him, "We have dreamed a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it." Dreams need to be interpreted. Dreams are not literal. And this is exactly the way it is with visions as well. Visions are very much like dreams. In fact, they are almost like they're a dream, really. A dream in the day is a vision, and a vision in the night is a dream. And they're not literal. They need to be interpreted. Everybody knew that back in these days. So they're looking for someone to interpret. Joseph said to them, "Don't interpretations belong to God? Please tell it to me." This is so amazing. Because it's like, on one hand, Joseph is saying, I can't interpret the dream, only God can. But on the other hand, he's basically saying, I can interpret the dream, tell it to me. But then if you put the two together, what he might be saying is, dreams and the interpretations of dreams belong to God, and God is with me, and I have a connection to God, so tell me. So there's this quiet confidence, humility too. He's not claiming that he's got power in and of himself to interpret dreams. So this is the humility here. The next verse, verse 9, the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph and said to him, "In my dream, behold, a vine was in front of me, and in the vine there were 3 branches. It was as though it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters produced ripe grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand." That's it. Joseph said to him, this is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. Who knew? A branch represents a day? How many of you, if you see something in the scriptures that it says a branch, how many of you would think it means a day? Right? 3 branches represents 3 days. Verse 13, within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office. What does this mean? Pharaoh will lift up your head. That means, like, basically he will lift your chin up. You're okay. Everything's okay. Everything's taken care of. I forgive you. Like, come out of the prison and come back to the office, and you can be my cupbearer again. You will give Pharaoh's cup into his hand the way you did when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you. Please show kindness to me and make mention of me to Pharaoh and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. Falsely imprisoned, falsely accused, falsely prosecuted. Could we say the same thing happened with Yeshua? The next verse, when the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said to Joseph, I also was in my dream. So he's like saying, oh, okay, this is good, okay? Because my dream is very much like the cupbearer's dream. The cupbearer got a really good interpretation. He got a really good prophecy spoken over him. So licking my chops, I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, count me in too. I also was in my dream, and behold, 3 baskets of white bread were on my head. In the uppermost basket there were all kinds of baked food for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head. Joseph answered, this is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days. Now again, who knew that a basket represents a day? I've been looking forward to this Friday and answering y'all's questions on the book of Revelation and Bible prophecy. I've got a lot of questions from the comment section. So what I'm going to do Friday is I'm going to start with Chipmunk's question from last time when the power went out. I was in the middle of answering the question. I'm going to start with that. And then I'm going to pull up all these other comments and questions that I got in the comment section ever since. And we'll discuss this. And one of the things that people do very regularly, especially when they read something like Revelation or any kind of eschatological passage, Matthew 24, whatever the case is, they take it literally all the time. I am convinced that the mark of a seasoned scholar is one who understands and knows the truth of the culture and the way that the viewpoint of the Jews who wrote these scriptures, much of it is not literal. So to understand the deeper implications and symbols and meanings and figures behind all of this stuff, that is really the mark of someone who is truly a senior in the scriptures. 3 baskets. See, if this was a prophecy, 3 baskets are going to come. A lot of Christians, they'll say, well, it says 3 baskets, it means 3 baskets. God means what he says what he means, and that's the way it is. A lot of people would do that, right? This is great. This is a great training ground for understanding that visions, dreams, words from God, the Word of God as a whole, much of it is not literal. So the baskets are days. One basket is as one day in the sight of the Lord. One day is as one basket. Who knew? 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from off you. Oh, that's not good. Off. Decapitation there. And will hang you on a tree. And the birds will eat your flesh from off you. Wow. You wouldn't want to be the guy who's delivering that word, would you? That must have been a little bit hard for Joseph to do, I can imagine. Verse 20, on the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand, but he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer didn't remember Joseph, but forgot him. So on one hand, it seems like everything's going good with Joseph, right? So it repeats over and over. God was with Joseph, and because God was with Joseph, everything went well. Joseph received favor in the eyes of Potiphar. Joseph had favor in the eyes of the keeper of the prison. Joseph had favor in the eyes of basically everyone. But on the other hand, things were not going well with Joseph, right? His brothers hated him. His brothers beat him up. His brothers sold him as a slave. He was framed, falsely accused, falsely imprisoned. And now, in spite of the fact that Joseph begged this cupbearer, like, remember me when this is fulfilled, remember me, and put in a good word to Pharaoh so that I can get out of this house, okay? Get out of this prison. You'd think that this cupbearer would remember him, because it doesn't seem like Joseph had a whole lot to say to him. It's not like Joseph, well, maybe he did, though. You never know how much was actually spoken between the two. But here it's just like a paragraph, right? Who knows? I mean, like, it could have been that the cupbearer and Joseph, really shooting the breeze for a long time. I don't know. I mean, it could have been that, oh yeah, I forgot all about that. But if it was just this, if it was just one paragraph that Joseph spoke to the cupbearer, you'd think these words would be beating on his soul, especially when Joseph said, okay, this is what's going to happen to you, a favorable outcome, and when it happens, when this is fulfilled, remember me. Remember me when it is well with you. Please show kindness to me and make mention of me to Pharaoh and bring me out. Bring me out of this house. And yet, the guy forgot all about him. So that's just like kicking a man when he's down. That's like, man, like, so Joseph is really taking a beating, Matthew in the live chat, seems to me that the cupbearer only remembered Joseph when he thought it might benefit him. Yeah, you never know. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, you know what? It's like, maybe Joseph should have said, like, I'll tell you, first of all, I don't know how he could do that, though. It's like he should have kind of, had something there to hang on to. He should have given the guy something to hang on to, some kind of way of remembering. So Joseph, at this point, was mistreated by his brothers, to say the least. That's an understatement. Mistreated by Pharaoh and Potiphar and Potiphar's wife, set up, lied about, falsely accused, in prison, and then this guy forgot all about him. Okay, let's go to the